George Christensen is a member of the LNP, joins us now from far north Queensland because he wants to start talking about China and these sorts of outrageous threats. Lovely to see you, great man. Help me out here. You're about to start a parliamentary inquiry, but this is exactly what they were threatening. They're now starting to do.
Yeah, well, they've proven the point themselves. And just before this pandemic sort of got into full swing, as the chairman of the Parliament's Joint Standing Committee on Trade and Investment Growth, we kicked off an inquiry that was looking at exactly these issues. It's got the sort of innocently named title of looking at diversification for our trade. But, Paul, this inquiry, make no mistake, is all about China. If you have a look at the terms of reference, the first point, we're considering if Australia is too reliant on any one market for exports. If so, what factors are contributing to this dominance? And then we're looking into the advantages and disadvantages, including in relation to the national interest and national economic risk to an over-reliance on any one market. We're looking to see if global crises, including trade disputes and political disputes, can influence or affect negatively our nation when it comes to that over-reliance. And the fact is that more than 1 in 3 of our trade dollars is linked to China. We have put too many eggs in the one basket, and that's why they have the upper hand. And they are a country that continues to use this sort of bullying, coercive, threatening strategy over and over again. It is just a harmful relationship, to be quite frank.
Are you going to call the Chinese ambassador to give evidence, answer questions?
Yes, look, we're writing to him already. If we haven't written on Friday, it'll be going out Monday, tomorrow. So we're going to be asking them not only to put a submission into the inquiry, really to explain themselves and what's going on recently and what's going on with this seeming threat over barley imports into China from Australia, but we want him to front the inquiry because there are a lot of questions that now need to be answered.
Is he compelled to turn up, or because he's not an employee of the Australian government, he can tell you to go jump?
Well, he has diplomatic immunity, but I mean, that'll be saying something in itself if they exercise that diplomatic immunity to not front to an inquiry of the Parliament, a joint inquiry of both the House of Reps and the Senate. I mean, we're asking nicely. We're asking for him to come and front and explain to us this commentary around trade boycotts, explain to us what has happened in terms of the barley exports, explain to us what coincidentally happened over coal exports about a year ago when we were talking about Huawei. You know, there's a pattern of behaviour here, and it's a harmful pattern of behaviour for Australia, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
Do you think that China is going to try to threaten and bully Australia as a signal to the rest of the Western world? Look what we did to these guys. We could move and do the same against you. Do you think that's part of their posturing about how they've been behaving towards us?
I think they're behaving this way towards us right now because, quite honestly, they think they've got a stranglehold over us already. They've already tried this on with many, many other nations, most recently the Netherlands. The Netherlands changed the name of its office in Taiwan. It had a sort of nondescript and benign name for this sort of de facto embassy. They changed it to be titled the Netherlands office in Taipei. And as a result, Beijing said, the Chinese Communist Party said to them that they were going to potentially withhold medical supplies into the Netherlands. Now, I think they controlled something like 90% of the imports of medical supplies into the Netherlands. So again, this sort of pattern of bad behaviour in using trade as political coercion. And if you talk with serious sort of strategic and military people, like I did recently with Brigadier General Robert Spalding out of the US, who now works for the Hudson Institute, he was the senior China advisor to the Joint Chiefs of Staff in the US Defence. And his view that this is all part of the strategic war that China is waging with the West at the moment. It is an economic strategy that's part of a greater battle plan that they